There are many kinds of photography. This year, however, I stumbled upon a very special one. I heard about photographers capturing the stars. After some research, I could find one of those so-called astrophotographers, and I contacted him. He let me join and took me on a mission that changed me. A mission to capture the one and only Milky Way. Follow me on this adventure, and I promise you, by the end of this video, you will see the world with different eyes. The day started late. The photographer told me to meet him at 10 p.m. The Milky Way is always there, but only at certain times is it bright and clear enough to be photographed. That depends on the right months, the right hours, and the right weather. Tonight, the Milky Way is said to be visible even to the naked eye. That's ideal. We had to do it tonight. To do so, we had to go into the complete wilderness of South Korea. He wanted to meet me at Onam Station, which is already quite far outside of Seoul. But the 2.5-hour journey with the car was still ahead of us. I had to search for a blue Hyundai with hazard lights turned on. And that's him, seongmo, a professional astrophotographer from Korea.
seongmo 자주 강원도에 가죠?
예, 주말마다.
Wait, so he's spending every weekend with astrophotography? I personally know nothing about it, and so may you. So here's a simple instruction how we can even do it on our own. You will know how to take an astro picture yourself if you follow just these 3 golden rules. Number 1, pollution, or to be more precise, light pollution. Let me give you an example. The higher the level of light pollution, the less we can observe in the sky. Less light pollution means a darker sky and more stars are clearly visible. The problem is, Seoul is an incredibly bright city. That's the reason why we have to take a ride into the dark countryside of Gangwon-do.
그 친구 이미 촬영한 중이에요?
하려고 했었는데
네.
이게 제가 차가 들어오면은 이제 빛이 라이트가 카메라에 딱 비춰가지고 촬영하기 힘들어서.
As you could hear, his friend who would join us wanted to start filming but cannot. This is because even the light of our car or our flashlight could ruin a work that takes hours to take. And while we were still on our way, seongmo told me a funny story.
Your car? 한번 crashed? One time your car crushed a deer?
seongmo had already run over a water deer once before, who are very active to this time. Almost the same thing was about to happen again tonight, but you'll see.
산불 조심.
After a long time, we finally caught up with his friend, but we were kind of lost in the darkness. We were now trying to find the hidden location that seongmo was talking about.
거기야? 아마도 이쪽일 것 같아요. 거기 어떠십니까 상황이? 예, 아까 지나가실 때 보셨을 거예요 왼쪽에. 예, 조금만 더 안쪽으로 들어가시면 되거든요. 예.
여기 천안은 거기까지 가야 되나 보네.
예. 고라니. 고라니.
여긴가
보네. 예, 맞습니다. 여기입니다. 딱 거기입니다. 여기 소나무 전까지예요. 일단 지금 현재 상황을 보여주는 별들이 어떻게 보이는지 실시간으로 보여주는 앱입니다. 근데 이제 시간이 계속 지날수록 은하수가 이렇게 보이시죠? 은하수 라인이 점점 이렇게 떠오르기 시작한 2시나 3시쯤부터 이렇게 보이기 시작하면서 아침까지 아침에 이제 아침이죠. 2시 반에서 3시까지는 기다려야 돼요.
와, 완전히 어려워요.
Now it was time to set up the camera. Number 2, stability. The camera has to stay absolutely still. Even a tiny vibration from your hand, from the wind or the ground can ruin the entire shot. That's why a tripod, a remote shutter and a lot of patience is highly recommended. Then comes the settings. Keep the aperture very open, the exposure between 10 and 25 seconds and the ISO around 3200. You have to balance the ISO and aperture. Too high and you get noise. Too low and the galaxy disappears into the black. Autofocus doesn't work in darkness, so turn it off and use manual focus. You point the lens toward a bright star, zoom in digitally and adjust until it's razor sharp. If the exposure time is too long, the Earth's rotation will start turning the stars into trails. Unless you want that, you should prepare an equatorial mount. This will rotate your camera in the opposite direction to Earth's rotation to keep the stars still in frame. Without mount rotation, with mount rotation. And now, let's have a look at our first results. As Seongmo and his friends set up their gear, I also started to capture my very first astrophoto. For that, I'm using a very affordable Sony Alpha 6400 with its standard kit lens. For my first photos, I was mostly spending time getting the focus and the position right. Here you can see pretty well that my exposure time was too long, so the stars got motion blurred. And here the stars are blurred again, because I was moving the camera a tiny little bit when tapping the recording button. But that blurred stars also have some kind of style. It's not too bad. The next thing I tried was to experiment a bit taking selfies. I really wanted to have a photo with me and the stars together. It was 1 AM and the Milky Way still wasn't shown yet. So in the meantime, Seongmo showed me which other miracles of the universe are already visible. Like for example the constellation Gangwon-do.
I can see it. 보일 수 있어요. 네. 와우.
여기서 이제 아래로 좀 내려가면은 여기 이게 폴라리스 나무 왼쪽에.
Polaris, also known as the North Star, is one of the most important stars in the night sky. It lies almost directly above Earth's North Pole, marking the position of the North Celestial Pole. Because of this, Polaris appears nearly motionless in the sky, while the other stars seem to rotate around it. Polaris is part of the constellation Ursa Minor, the Little Bear. For centuries, it has been used for navigation and orientation, helping travelers and sailors determine the direction of north.
타임랩스 촬영하고 있어.
오케이.
4시 반에 밖으로 나오면은 은하수 눈으로 볼 수 있어요.
오케이. 와우.
It was freezingly cold, so I sat in the car, rested and waited.
Actually, it's so dark outside that I don't even see them. I really don't know where they are. Because if I look outside the car, everything's dark. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, I just keep eating. Right now it's almost 5 AM and at 5:30 we will probably go back. I kept shooting photos of the Milky Way. Let's see. That's so cool. That might be my best shot. There you can see it. That's the Milky Way.
And this is my very first picture of the Milky Way. The galaxy is only faintly visible here, but you can see it. In a few moments, when you see seongmo's footage, the Milky Way will appear in a far greater detail, revealing its vibrant nebulae. Nevertheless, you can already see a lot of the cosmic dust clouds and star fields. From now on, you can see the sky getting brighter as the night slowly came to an end. Here you can get a better look again at our setup and the place where we were shooting that night. And last but not least, I tried 2 more selfies for the end. But now let's finally have a look at seongmo's photographs. Here you can see it very well. When I look at this image, it feels as if something higher is looking down on us. God, the universe, call it however you want. Now I can see the bright star clusters and the beautiful orange-red nebulae, the bright yellow dense star fields and the dark interstellar dust clouds. You probably have seen the Milky Way before, maybe as a desktop background on your phone or computer, and you thought, "Ah, that looks pretty nice, so many lights." But have you ever wondered, what is it what you're looking at? This is the Milky Way, our home galaxy. If I asked you to point to the location of our solar system, of planet Earth and our Sun, where would you point? Our home is somewhere here. We are living inside a small spiral arm called the Orion Arm, about 27,000 light years from the galactic center. 1 light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. That means the light that hit my eye tonight, when I was watching the Milky Way, began its journey around 27,000 years ago. The Romans, for example, lived only about 2,000 years ago. The light from their time hasn't even come close to reaching the galactic center yet. So back in Roman times, the Milky Way would have looked exactly the same as I saw it. And there are endless more galaxies. There is Galaxy Messier 64, also called the Black Eye Galaxy, being 17 million light years far away. Messier 90, 60 million light years far away. Or Messier 100, 55 million light years far away the Milky Way. And inside the Milky Way galaxy, a pale blue dot. Or how we call it, planet Earth. If the Milky Way were scaled down to the size of Earth, our planet itself would be no larger than a virus. Makes you wonder whether anything on Earth truly matters.
Here in the background you can see it very well, it's already getting bright. The sun is rising.
Seeing the first daylight again after such a night was like waking up from a dream.
Okay, we wrapped everything up, now let's get home. Back to Seoul.
The stars are fading back into the vastness and the sky is clearing. All the stars, galaxies and black holes will always be around us, and yet we cannot see them. At least for 12 hours a day, and during the night we can get a small glimpse of what's out there, but we will always live within this big nothingness. Is it nothing? Or perhaps everything?
One more car. 지금 사람들이 일어나요. Brian May, Queen, the guitar man.
Yeah.
Also, maybe we could collaborate at some point. Brian May. Brian May 너에게 연락했어. 와우, 신기하다.
진짜 신기해.
와우, 너무 멋져요. 와.
신기했어요.
Honestly, the universe just happens. The universe has no inherent meaning. We are just a virus in the Milky Way. But we've got the gift to live. Thanks to life, we can mean. Because meaning is created through conscious choice and action. In a universe that does not care, our choices are all we truly own. The struggle itself is enough to fill a human heart. Albert Camus. One thing is for sure, the universe is and will always be there. We will die. So if everything ends, what matters is how you live right now. At least that's my advice, but you don't have to listen to me. I am just a random human being from planet Earth within the solar system inside the Orion arm of the Milky Way, a galaxy that belongs to the local group, which itself is a part of the vast Laniakea supercluster, all within the observable universe.